Just a little bit shorter, practice schedule. Obviously, a day less, and so, we're obviously going to attack it the same way as every week. Just kind of one less big, load work day. But we're still going to get the work in. Got a good game plan, and we'll be ready to go.
Obviously, in the passing game against Missouri, you guys finally break the 100-yard mark for the first time in 3 games. Just what did you feel like really got going well in the pass game for you in particular?
I think we kind of all just kind of started to click a little bit. We got in a good rhythm, and I think we got some confidence. And I think that's the biggest thing. We get confidence, we get some momentum, and hopefully we can keep carrying that over.
What about for yourself? This is now 2 consecutive starts for you. Do you feel like you're gaining momentum yourself?
Yeah. Obviously, the more you play, the more the game's going to slow down for you. The more defenses you're going to see, and then you know how to react in each of our play calls. So the more playing time is great. So seeing the defense, knowing what our offense is doing, and trying to get everybody on the same page.
Obviously, you've got some new faces in the receivers room in terms of just guys stepping into roles due to injuries and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How have you been able to sort of build some chemistry with those guys?
The reason y'all are waiting is because I was on the practice field with them after practice. These guys want to work. These guys want to be great. So that's never been an issue of effort and work ethic. So those guys are great. They're going to be called. Their name's called. They'll be ready. And so we're just keeping on working. And obviously later in that last game we started to click. And so just keep working with them, and hopefully that will start clicking earlier in games.
What's the feeling around the program after kind of a tough couple of weeks, just results wise?
I really think we have a good culture here with this team. Obviously, we've only won one game, and for a program that could really take a downhill slide quick. But we've got a really good group of guys that everybody knows we're close. We just got to put everybody on the same page. We've got to have offense, defense all clicking together. Obviously, to win football games, especially against good teams and good opponents. And so I think we all have the belief that we're close, and we're going to get rolling here in the second half of the season.
How do you guys fix the slow starts? I mean, you guys have had just a rough time getting anything going until late.
I think it starts with good quarterback play. Obviously, on the first drive of the last game, made a bad decision, try to fit one in there when I should have thrown it out of bounds. That puts your defense in a bad situation. Their back's against the wall. And then when you start like that, it's hard to dig yourself out of a hole. So better quarterback play, just getting a rhythm offensively. I think one of our big beliefs is getting the first down. Once we get that first down, I feel like we can kind of get in a rhythm, and it gets a little bit smoother after that. So just having a good rhythm, confidence, and better quarterback play.
What are you expecting to see out of Marshall this week?
A good defense, different looks, different coverages, and so our game plan, I feel very confident in it. Had a good run game the last couple of weeks, and then obviously the last in Mizzou kind of got the passing game going. So clicking on both ends, and so going confident to this game.
They're typically pretty good defensively. What is it about them that you think that makes them so successful on that side of the ball?
The defensive line is very twitchy, fast. Got some fast linebackers, and they'll give you different looks in the secondary. So they make it tough on opponents, and their track record of being a great defense is there. So obviously respect all your opponents, and we'll go into this game, kind of seeing what they do, and adjust when needed.
They have had quite a few sacks on the year, it seems like, that defensive unit. Is there anything that changes for you guys on the offensive side, or not really?
No, not really. I think just obviously in practice, working our technique. Those guys are fast, twitchy guys, and so making sure we're, good technique up there, making sure we're getting in the right calls. Me getting the ball out when needed, and so we can work around things like that.
Katie and Tyreek have been around this team a long time, and so have you. But how have they kind of become leaders, or do you think they're leaders for this team? Do they set the tone for the rest of the guys?
Yeah, defensively, they're big time leaders. They're going against them every day. Talking, they're always talking, definitely talking trash to the offense, and they bring a lot of energy. They bring a lot of energy to that defense, and you can see it on the field and every day in practice. So those two guys definitely are big time leaders for us on the defensive side of the ball, and bring energy every day.
Are they a little different personality-wise, or are they pretty similar?
I think they're a little bit different. I think Tyreek's probably a little bit louder, but KD does get in there and holds guys accountable. And KD works his butt off and plays his butt off too. So both of them are really really good linebackers for us and great teammates.
I wanted to ask you about Rod Brown, freshman on the D line. Just what have you seen out of him going against him in practice? Seems like he's really stepped into an early role for you guys.
Yeah, he's impressive. Being a true freshman on defensive line, coming in and playing right away is impressive. Obviously smart, twitchy, and just a good athlete. So he brings a great presence for us on the defensive line, and I think our defense is doing a good job offensively. We just got to help them, get in better situations and not put them, kind of in their backs against the wall.
You have a lot of young guys in the secondary that are playing this year with Upton and some other guys. But those guys starting to develop. I mean, you go against them every day in practice.
Yeah. I think they're definitely getting better as each week goes on. You'll see guys working after practice every day, working on their technique, and obviously, the more you play, the more routes they'll see, the more concepts they'll understand, and they'll season and get better each week.
All right, John, so you guys have a short week this week before you play Marshall. How does that impact you guys getting ready for a game like this?
I think it impacts us in a better way. We get on them quick. We hit film fast, and I think, Coach Luttrell's giving us a good week to rest our bodies. Shorter practice tomorrow with no pads, but I feel like we're still hitting the head on the nail and getting a gist on these guys.
Let me ask you, on the defense in general, it seems like you guys had a tough time with some of the big plays and some slow starts, through the last few weeks. What do you see as ways for you guys to really fix that?
I feel like we just got to lock in and just get better. That's the only thing we could do is just get better, lock in on the basics, get back to the foundation things. And I feel like once we do that, I feel like we can pretty much beat every team in the conference.
What's the feeling around the program at this point? It's been a rough few weeks for you guys.
The feeling is just still hungry. I believe we're still hungry. Everybody still wants to win. Obviously, things haven't been going the way we wanted, but that drives us, that fuels us, and it feels still hungry.
What are you looking at in the Marshall offense?
They're really good. It's a great team, great offense, great defense, great special teams. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but not everything is ever going to be a cakewalk. We got to compete, grind, do everything right in practice, and it's going to be a good game.
How do you feel at this point in terms of yourself and the rest of the secondary? How do you feel about where you guys are right now and where you need to improve?
Never complacent. Still got to get better. Coach Brennan really is on us on everything, every detail, every step, every technique. We just got to get better. That's all I can say. We just got to get better.
Do you feel like this is a turnaround game? Like if you win this and get a strong start against a good conference opponent, it turns the whole season around for you?
For sure. Any win is like that. No matter if it was Northwestern or Marshall, any win is going to get everything going. It builds confidence, and yeah.
I want to ask you about Rod Brown, freshman D tackle.
Mhm.
What have you seen out of him so far? He seems like he's making a pretty quick
He's a
impact.
really, really good player. He has a motor. He's strong. He's physical. He's got a lot of work to do, but he's going to be a great player. Great player.
What do you see out of Grant Wells, their quarterback? He seems like he's had a couple of good years back to back.
He's a really good quarterback. He can spin it. He can throw it deep. He's accurate. It's going to be a tough challenge. It's a good quarterback.
One thing it seems like Marshall's offense has had issues with is turnovers. Wells himself, he's had 9 picks, and then they've had 16 turnovers overall.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's an area you guys can try to exploit?
Yeah, we definitely need to, as just for ourselves, we need to create more turnovers. And like again, Marshall's a good team, but just basing off of us as a defense, we need to create more turnovers, strip the ball, get interceptions, do everything we can to get the offense back on the field.
So after 2 away games, you're back home at Apogee. How does that feel?
Feels good. I love home games. I hope the crowd gets out there, gets us hyped up. It's going to be a great game. So I love home games.
You're playing a lot of young guys in the secondary with guys like Upton,
Mhm.
like that. Are those guys starting to settle in and play a little bit better?
Yeah, Upton's a great corner. Young, Dylan Williams, great corner. Young. I feel like these guys, once they're getting in the gist of everything, and I feel like they can play a lot of snaps for us.
Is that something where you've tried to help those guys along a little bit, share some of your experience with them?
Of course, yeah, especially Dylan. Upton's got a little bit of experience, but he's getting there. He got in a little bit against Mizzou. He played really good, I feel like. Like I said, I think guys got a lot to work on, but he's getting there for sure.
I want to ask you about Katie and Tyreek.
Mhm.
These guys have been around here a long time, played a lot of ball. Have they really set an example for you guys, for the rest of the players on this team?
Of course, Katie and Tyreek, they're very vocal players. They get everybody going. Us as a defense, we feed off of their energy every game, every practice. They have great motors, and those are really, really great players and great guys to follow.
What makes some great guys to follow?
Just by leading by example. You've seen Tyreek and Katie make play after play in every game, and once guys see that, we're like, okay, like it really motivates us to get it going.
I wanted to ask you about Marshall's running back as well, Rasheen Ali. It
Mhm.
seems like he's carried a lot of the load for them offensively, scored a lot of touchdowns for them. What have you seen out of him as a player?
Runs hard. He's tough. He's a physical back. He's shifty. We got some things in. He's a great back, and we got a real challenge.
Just wanted to ask you a little bit about Marshall and how you guys are preparing to face Durant Wells, probably one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. What do you see from him?
He's a good quarterback. He can sling it all around the field, honestly. They got playmakers all around the field, so we just trying to make sure we're on our P's and Q's so we can get ready for that matchup on Friday night.
Do you feel like there's some areas you can take advantage of as far as turnovers go? Seems like Marshall's had quite a few turnovers this year. Wells has had, I think, 9 picks on the year. Do you feel like that's an area you guys can exploit a little bit?
Honestly, I feel like every week we're always trying to get turnovers, and really that's all we really want to do. We just want to get turnovers every week. So I don't really feel like we look at it as like, okay, he got turnovers, this and that. We just want to do our job and get turnovers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look forward to playing on a Friday night nationally televised.
Yeah.
Is that something you guys are excited about?
Yeah, basically back to high school days, back to how it was high school, 7 o'clock, Friday night lights.
I want to ask you about Marshall's running back as well, Rasheen Ali. It seems like he's carried a lot of the load for them on the offense. Just what have you seen out of him and what kind of player he is?
He's a poised running back. He could run all over the field. He can go east, west, north, and south. He's a good running back all over.
So what is it going to take to really try and slow him down?
Really, we just got to finish plays, make tackles, and just have intensity all over the defense, really.
You get a lot of playing time this year. You starting to settle in and kind of adjust to the college level?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What makes you say that? You just feel more comfortable out?
Yeah, I'm feeling more comfortable with Bennett coming in. He's basically giving me more confidence to play, honestly. Him, Holly, they giving me more confidence where I could just roam all over the field and be myself on the field.
Seems like some slow starts have kind of hurt you guys on the defensive side of late. Is there anything you guys are looking at as far as trying to fix that?
Really just trying to just pick it up in practice, just trying to start off with good intensity, not trying to start sluggish, just trying to come out with a fire and just be ready.
And then big plays as well, big play touchdowns have seemed to hurt you guys quite a bit. Is there anything you're looking at as far as trying to shore those up?
Really just to focus on the little things. It's always little things, alignment, where just reading our keys. So if we just take away the little things, we could just take away the big, basically the big explosive plays.
Are you guys starting to gel a little bit more as a secondary? It seems like you're playing better together.
Of course, yeah, we are. It's turning around to be a family atmosphere, really, on the defense. Everybody likes everybody, basically.
After a couple rough games, what has Coach Bennett been telling y'all?
Just play. Don't listen to the outside noise. Just play. Worry about your game.
Speaking of Bennett, we've heard from some of the older defensive players about what he brings, but as a younger player, what does he really do for you?
He basically tells me, like, just bring the intensity. Like, he knows, like, he been to all the places. He knows what it takes to get there. So he's just telling me, just play, don't worry about everything else because it's all going to handle itself.
I wanted to ask you about Rod Brown. He's a freshman on the D-line for you guys. Seems like he's made a pretty early impact. Just what have you seen out of him as a player?
Dog. He's a dog. And he's a dog. He got that fire, and I like it.
What is it about him that has allowed him to have that early impact?
I say size. Like, I say something like me. Like, he know the size, so you gotta have that fire under you every play.
Sure.
Also wanted to ask you about Katie and Tyreek. Those guys have played a lot of ball here.
Dogs.
4 years. What kind of example and tone do they set for your Tyreek?
Really leadership. Like, they just want to make sure everything is perfected. They gonna get on you, right, wrong. It don't even matter. They just want everything perfected. It's the type of leadership you want in the locker room.
Is that something that filters down, just the tone that they set?
Definitely.
Have you asked them for any advice throughout your
I always ask them for advice because I basically look up to both of them like they my big brothers. So I'm always trying to pick pieces off the game.